All right? All right. Start now. Jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya. Chakshurim Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Dandavat, everybody. Who's not trying to climb up the hill. So today we've been asked to speak about on the topic of service life, which is, we're going to do our best. So I was thinking about this morning, and one of the things that struck me about service life is that there are 5 kinds of knowledge, 5 different levels of knowing something or of being conscious of something. The lowest is the objects of the senses. That's available to worms and mosquitoes and tree. That's available everywhere. Everyone's feeling the senses. So that's considered to be the lowest way of getting information, or the lowest plane of information. And then above that is what we can hear about the experiences of knowledge of others. And that's pretty much available exclusively in human form and higher. Means we can hear knowledge from others. That's finer. And above that is the non-differentiated plane of simply existing. Free from the sense objects and free from any kind of mundane information. And that's compared to having a dreamless sleep. And you wake up from a dreamless sleep, you think, oh, that was such a peaceful sleep. But you weren't really aware of anything. You weren't even aware of yourself as existing. So that plane called Brahman realization, or Sayuja Mukti, that's also available. But there are 2 planes above that. And the plane right above that is called Adhoksaja. And that's not available. It's not available by any kind of motivated endeavor. It is available only by its own grace. It's the plane of divine service. And one can only enter that plane through perfect service mood. So we can think, well, what is our service life? And actually, when we approach that plane, we can't make any demands. We can't go knocking on the door and saying, look, I chanted 16 wrong, I did the arti 3 times, and I rang the bell, and I bowed down, and look at all the list on. I've got a really good sari on here, my tilak's straight. Therefore, check me out, I'm a devotee. There's something missing. And what's missing is that we can't make any demand whatsoever on the divine will. No one in the Adhoksaja plane is making any demand at all. They are simply serving the will of the Lord. That's all. And feeling his reciprocation. Krish means the center of all attraction. Where our natural heart will go is to the service of the Lord. That's normal. And na means reciprocating. So there is an oceanic reciprocation of service in the Adhoksaja plane. And the Aprakrita plane above that, where divine Leela is going on. So sometimes when we think of service life, and there's much to be said about the 9 processes of devotional service, which is hearing, right? We're always hearing. Hearing is super important. Chanting, which means what I've heard and understood, I want to share that. And it also means sankirtan. It also means chanting japa. So Shravanam, Kirtam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, deity worship, Vandanam, offering prayers, Dasyam, serving, Sakyam, becoming the friend of the Lord, and Atmanivedanam means giving everything, who I am, to the Lord. And actually, service is Atmanivedanam. It doesn't have any motive at all. So here we are, full of motives. We can't help it. And what are the main motives of the material life? I want to be distinguished. I want to stick out from the crowd. I want to be distinguished amongst my peers. I want people to admire me, to say, oh man, that was amazing. Adoration, we all know what that is. I want to be the center of somebody's existence. I want them to think I'm amazing, because I am. I really am. I want to be adored. Really kind of sick stuff, right? Distinction, adoration, and then profit. All right, I did this, I did that, I did that. Now what am I getting? What's in it for me? So we all are motivated by those three things all the time. Right. So how do we approach service when we have all this crap in our, this unwanted paraphernalia in our existence? The Adhokshaja plane is also extending itself to us through lessons on how to rid ourselves of every single motive in our hearts. Through the instructions and grace of Gurudev, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, we are perceiving our lives in a completely different way. Our angle of vision is changing. So if you want to go to the Olympics, we can't expect to just go in there like, yeah, I'm ready. And then they stick you on the American team or the Russian team or the China or whatever. No, you look, kid, you can't even touch your toes. So just, get ready to be in pain for a few years and get yourself qualified. I mean, if anybody wants to do anything, they're going to go through some suffering and some purification and getting some qualification to do that. So that is actually being offered to us at every moment of our existence by the grace of that plane. And where do we feel the pain? When I was a kid and when I went to the dentist, they had a little hammer. And they go, guck, 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 guck. The dentist would just hit your teeth. And when he found the bad one, everyone was quite aware of it, because it hurt like the devil. But you weren't mad at him for it. That's his job. He's finding what's wrong with you so that he can fix it. So when my desire for distinction is frustrated, and it will be, and when my distinction for adoration is frustrated, and when my desire for profit is frustrated, generally we have a beef with that. We're like, that went wrong, that guy's a jerk, this is the thing, and it's just because of that. We have a million excuses except, oh, look at me, man. I am rotten. Look what I'm lamenting about. And all day long this can happen to us. All day long the Lord has got that little hammer. And he's removing, if we can become aware of what, if we can sit and feel whatever pain and disturbance and frustration and anger and desire and all these really painful things, if we can look at them closely and attribute them to something in me that is really ridiculous, then Guru Maharaj says this is called bhakti yoga. And it is the thing which will qualify us for service life. Otherwise, it will all be external. It'll all be just doing this in the morning and that at night and that and that. And Guru Maharaj said that can go on for lifetimes. We have to take the lesson from the Adhokshaja plane that is manifesting itself so sweetly in the entire environment that we are experiencing. And it is going to purify us. It's going to change us, and it's going to take out everything in us which is standing in the way of service. Service has no motivation. It's gross to serve someone with motivation. It's disgusting. And shame on us that it's a mystery, even in the Vedas. You don't find very few verses which the six Goswamis so expertly found by the grace of Mahaprabhu so that we can have evidence, because we're so suspicious about devotion. But any motive to giving is gross. And the Lord will make sure that we get the heck over it. You want distinction? I don't think so. Not today. You want to be adored? Forget about it. You want profit? Not going to happen. You want to feed your addictions? Then you will wander through all the marketplaces and they're all closed and abandoned until you just, your knees hit the floor and you say, what have I done? What have I done? So get ready for that. Otherwise, our service life will be external and superficial. Let him kick our butts and find out what's the matter with me so that I can come honestly and shyly with my offering to the Adhokshaja plane with no expectation at all. What does Mahaprabhu say? Bhava janmani janmani sware. I'm not asking not to take birth and not to die. I'm not asking for anything from you. Can I do something for you? Can I come with my little offering like a child who doesn't know how to do anything and just offer my existence to you? Maybe you don't want it. It's all right. But can I just live like that for you? So now it's Bimala's turn. Dhanyavad, everybody.
Dhanyavad, everyone. First of all, I'd like to ask you blessings to every one of you. Every one of you is a servitor. Every one of you like very much to offer your heart and your activities. So I am asking blessings all of you. And a servitor that's down there in white, she is so beautiful, Shareshwari Didi. Her blessings, because I say in all honesty, I am the least one that should sit here. Really. No qualification, no anything. But I do say that somehow Gurudeva, Lord, managed to get a little bit of my heart. And for that, I think, yeah, that blessing I did get, that Gurudeva rescued me. Gurudeva rescued me from myself. I am my worst enemy, really. I am the worst enemy I myself can have. But I do have Gurudeva, and I do have all of you, this beautiful community and devotees. And each time they call me to do something, I say like this. Really, I am not the one that should sit and speak, but there is one thing. Gurudeva, it is for you, if you want me to do this, whether I know or not, I'm going to be only your instrument. And as the instrument, you will do this. You will, according to all of you, what you need will come out. So, and that's how, in many instances, people want to say something, then I will say those things. That's, I am just an instrument. In all seva that Gurudeva gave to me, I always think it's not me is Gurudeva. That is, I am his instrument. And Gurudeva in many instances said to me, Bimala, this body does not belong to you. This body belongs to me. I have the tendency to neglect myself. And I don't mind about this, but Gurudeva has many times reminded me that this is not your body, this belongs to me. The body is Krishna's body, Gurudeva's body, and it's a temple. So you will look so nicely, to maintain the temple. So in that kind of spirit, we will also do the same. And the service is by itself. Bhakti Devi, she will come. She will come if she sees your heart wants that seva. And any seva is beautiful. And it doesn't have to be like some specific thing. Even if you get one cup from one place and you take to the sink and you wash, that's beautiful. Gurudeva one time told to me, they were asking what is seva, and Gurudeva said, I'm saying every day and about the mood, But he said, if Gurudeva say, move this chair, and you do move it with full heart and gratitude, that is a seva. So service is really our life. Service is the real nature of the soul. The soul now took this body, and we've taken so many other bodies in other lives. So this opportunity is given to us, soul is here, inside that vessel, and we pray with all our heart, please, Bhakti Devi, engage me in your service. Gurudeva, make me your instrument. And the mood Gurudeva is always saying, humility, tolerance, give honor to others without expecting any honor in return. And with love and affection. I really pray that I can do this. I'm still training. But, you just go on. And remember that everyone is dear to Gurudeva. Everyone is trying to do something. And you just try to enhance that. Tyagi Maharaj always say, bring out the good from others. Even if there is a difficulty, you just bring out the good. It's not easy to do that. But try to bring the good from what that situation of learning is. That's why service life is a practice. We are learning every moment. We do like the good experience, but when the bad experience comes, we don't like it so much. But it's both we are learning. From the good, from the bad, everything we are learning. And in seva is the reward in itself. I remember Gurudeva in his tours, he would always highlight that too. Seva is our good fortune. Seva is the best blessing we can have ever. Because in seva, you can see all those things we hear in the class. You can see all the things you hear in this beautiful spiritual literature. It's all there, practical. And you go, oh yeah, So it is really our best blessing. And it is the reward in itself. Seva brings more seva. And you say, wow. And, one time Gurudev in his lecture, in his tours, he also was saying that, because what is reward for seva? Then you see more seva is coming, because that seva is our good fortune. We won the lottery. Yeah! $1 trillion lottery. All the obstacles that come our way, many times, we will see, I don't know about this, but go on. And if you did it so perfectly or not, Krishna, Gurudeva, they want our heart effort. We may not be so perfect, we may be, and also we can encourage others. They're not going to be perfect, we're not perfect, so we encourage them. Say, no, you can do, no, it's not so bad, it's good, because that's what Gurudeva and Lord will have from your seva. So in a nutshell, I say, let's just help each other. We don't have any of those good feelings that are there in scriptures and teachings to us, but we want to have them. We want that. Please invite in our heart those feelings that make what Gurudeva brought for this beautiful community, which is service life with love and affection, acceptance, encouragement, and gratitude, so much gratitude in our heart, because this is really the best blessing we can have in this body, in this lifetime. So all of you, please bless all. We ask blessing to everybody to help us, because that's our good fortune. And I say, thank you so very much. Jai Gurudeva Haribol. Jai Gurudeva. So I will go because I do often.
Just see. Sure. Sit next to Anyway, Dandavats, everyone. Divyashakti here. All glories. Is it? Okay, is this good? Is this okay? Is this good? Okay. I just found out, I just realized and just found out that I was supposed to sit here and say something. I did not know, I did not realize, I didn't look. So anyway, I'm very grateful to be here. And what I do want to say is that Mahaprabhu said that, you know, he appeared here in the age of Kali, and his mercy is available to the most fallen. So I feel like we're all in that category, but I really feel myself to be in that category, that I'm a very fallen soul, and that by the mercy of Gurudev, some grace, some blessing has come to this soul here. So all the works that I get to do, because I don't even know what service is, I feel I'm just doing works. So even though I hear the scripture and I read and I listen and I try to practice the 9 processes of devotional service in some minute way, but I really don't have very much understanding, because I feel like I have a heart of stone, so I have no feeling. So I'm just trying to go on in my spiritual life, in this life, with some connection to the devotees and the Vaishnavas and the books and the kirtan. Now, I do feel some push. Something is keeping me here and keeping me doing my works. And it is enlivening, but still at the same time I feel like I have no heart. So this service life and bhakti yoga, this is what I'm supposed to be talking about. If I was to base it on feeling, then there must be some feeling there, because I have some feeling to do these works, you know, but I'm not attached to the result in that sense, because I really don't have very much feeling, I guess. Maybe it's out of my expectation. I'm expecting more than I'm receiving or knowing. So I just go on and do what I'm told to do. And in this service life, I would say in this life, there isn't anything better to do than to try to serve the devotees and serve this mission. And that's one thing that I've realized. And if you can just go on and do your service without expecting anything in return or without expecting any feeling. And I just know in my heart that I have a little feeling, that there's nothing else better to do in my life. I have nothing else I want to do in my life but to serve the devotees and to serve this mission, to serve Mahaprabhu's mission. And this will keep you going. I mean, I can't think of anything better to do outside of this Krishna conception, Krishna consciousness. I mean, we used to do so many things, you know. But nothing gives me the satisfaction. There's some feeling there. There is some feeling. But I still, at the same time, I still feel like I have a heart of stone. But there is some feeling, and I would never want to be anywhere else other than in the association of devotees. I mean, I could have been out there doing whatever, being this, being that, doing this, doing that, but I'd rather be here doing some menial service. And I think if we just have faith in that, and it will grow on you, and it will keep you situated properly. And I think this is a blessing from Gurudev, you know, because we've all been allowed to do so many things that I never dreamed that I would be able to do, like in the Dham or here. And I know it's all Gurudev's blessing. I even feel that I don't know what love is, you know. So we have to learn love. And the words of the scriptures, I really believe. So by service, you can reawaken your love. You can waken up your love to Guru and Gauranga, because I don't feel like I have love. I don't know what love is. I don't feel like I have love for the devotees. But through this process, I believe, because I have some attraction, and some attraction to my works. I call it works because I don't know what service is. And I was saying I have some attraction to this bhakti yoga. So, you know, I don't know very much scripture, but in my heart, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. But at the same time, I pray to get to that level of spontaneity that's like I see it in Bimala, I see it in Brajamohini, I see it in Srilekha, I see it in so many devotees. They're spontaneously serving, and I don't have that. I don't feel that, you know. So anyway, service life, there's nothing better to do in this world. And this is a blessing. There's nothing better to do out there. And when you go out there, you feel it. And you just want to come back here. In the association of the devotees. No matter how hard it seems, and we think that service is depleting our energy, but it isn't. You know? I mean, how long did the 6 Goswamis sleep? They didn't sleep very long, you know. And it's not like that's our goal, but sometimes, you know, like Ramai, he hardly slept at all. But he was so enlivened and he did so much service, you know. And he chanted so much and he read so much, and he would tell me, he said, I can't read, Divya, because I'll fall asleep. So he would always listen to the tapes and the scriptures, and he would know it by heart backwards. The Chaitanya Bhagavat, he knew all the Prema Dhamma slokas, you know, and, you know, it was really, really wonderful. But anyway, I just had a few words to say about service life. Just keep doing what you're doing, because There's nothing else to do. There's nothing better to do in the material world here. We have these bodies, utilize it in trying to serve and please the devotees and Gurudev, and soon our heart will waken up and develop some real love and some attachment, and we'll become more attached and more enlivened and more beautiful, and our lives will become more beautiful. And it's natural, it's a natural thing to serve, and we got this service. This is the highest service, is to serve Guru and Vaishnava, to Guru and Gauranga, to serve and spread the holy name around. And I feel a little sad in a sense that I don't get to, as I sit here, I'm saying I don't get to go out so much anymore because I'm a little preoccupied, and I can't drive very much anymore. But every now and then I'll still go out and try to do some fundraising and do some book distribution and some collection for the mission. Like I'll collect for flowers, and I'll collect for the jewelry, and I'll collect for Hashtrapriya Prabhu and the temple, and collect for this project and that project, and I love to do that. And every now and then I'll get some burst of energy where I feel I can do it. I can drive. I can go over the hill and drive, and it's very enlivening, but I feel a little sad that I'm not able physically to do it so much anymore. And I kind of hanker for that preaching side of things. So, because I know it's very pleasing to Gurudev and Gauranga. But anyway, I think you guys should all try to just continue what you're doing and associate with those devotees that inspire you in your service life, because there's nothing better to do in this world. Nothing.
Maybe I have a question if nobody else. Maybe I have a question? Didis, can you speak something about Yukta Vairagya? There's the pots need to be washed, and I may feel like, I'm not qualified to wash the pots, but I have some technical inclination. No, I'm joking there. But, so we've heard something about Yukta Vairagya in terms of service. Can you speak a little something about that?
What is the exact meaning of Yukta Vairagya? I know it's... You tell me the exact meaning of it.
Well, so there's the plane of exploitation, as we're all very familiar. We've been living on the mean streets of exploitation for a long time. That it means that, I'm doing something to get something for myself. And then there's the religious life, which is it's exploitation refined so that you get a more refined result. But then there's renunciation, which means I don't like this anymore, like sour grapes, that old fable. The fox wants to get the grapes, and he keeps jumping, and he can't get them. And then he decides, I don't like grapes anyway. Those grapes are rotten. Those are sour. So, sour grapes, I don't like this material world. I'm out of here. This material world is bad. I got it, And then just renouncing. But if I walk into your house and go, I renounce this, you'd be like, okay, this was never yours in the first place. But then there's Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya means I am giving up my tendency to utilize the Lord's divine energy for myself. Because it's for Him. Everything's for Him. I'm for Him. So I want to see this environment, this divine environment, for what it really is. And if something comes into my hand by the will of the Lord and Srila Gurudev's grace, then I'm using it for Krishna. I'm not renouncing it. What's the good of renouncing something? It's to be utilized. So Yukta Vairagya means I'm going to use whatever exists for its proper use. That includes my mind. Vajahure mana. I am asking my mind, come on, knock it off. Sri Nandananda, think about use your senses in the service of the Lord, the desire to speak in the service of the Lord. We're smelling, everything is prasadam, actually. If we see it properly, everything that exists is the prasadam of the Lord, because we cannot experience anything unless He wants us to. So, what is my purpose? My purpose is to bow down and say, what shall I do? What shall I do now for you? Connect me to you. Make me yours. This situation has come. Let me bow down now to you as whatever I am. Sometimes you're just doing something like really dumb, and you're like, look at me. I'm not hiding from you. You see me. I'm an idiot. What can I do, my Lord? Engage me. Engage this idiot. This nonsense person. And everything that comes into my hand is His grace. It's come by the grace of Gurudev. Gurudev being non-different from Krishna, non-different from Srimati Radharani ultimately, giving us engagement. So nothing is for me. Actually, the material world is not a place. Whenever I see anything and think that it exists for me, that's called the material world. That's all. Everything is divine. But my attitude is crappy. It's terrible. It's nonsense. So we're changing that to see everything as part of the Lord, has come into my hand for giving me an opportunity for service. Is that actually what you were getting at, Prabhu?
Yeah, how does Yukta Vairagya relate to service?
Yeah, it's all for service.
I want to say something. Oh, hi. Okay. Hold on.
Was that all right?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody want to make a comment or add something or a question or anything? Okay,
I
so
have lots of questions. We have 10 more minutes.
okay.
Did anybody else have any questions? Yes. All right. We have a question.
So a couple of days ago, we were hearing
Right close to your mouth.
closer. Okay. We were hearing Sudarshan Prabhuji, and he was talking about how sometimes if we get difficult circumstances that are making it hard to engage in what we might think of as service, doing the externally needful, having a set of objects and acting on them in the Lord's service. But he said that we can kind of readjust our mentality about what service is, and I was really interested in that point, because there's some people that can't always engage in the same service that the rest of us might be, blessed to be engaged in.
That's a really important point.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can say something about that.
Well, again, we are engaging in service. We are performing the 9 devotional practices. So this idea of external and internal doesn't mean that we roll over and die. I mean, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling Arjuna saying, well, I don't think we should fight because of this and that, and why do I even want to have a kingdom if all my relatives are dead? And Krishna's saying, what's that got to do with anything? That's the beginning. This is not an auspicious consideration. It's not for you. We're doing our duty. And we are engaged in so many different practices, and they're all really helpful to us. They're centering our mind and our consciousness and our practicing stage and our lower stage, centering on the deity, centering on, what is going to be beneficial for the spreading this life around and so on. And so it's not, and in the end of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna finally gets to the point of you do this for love, even beyond duty, then what does Arjuna do? He's not like, okay, I'm surrendered to you, my Lord. You said, Mame Kang Sharanam Braja. Okay, I'm surrendered. I'm just going to just lie down and sleep. It's a practical thing. But surrender and service mood are the current. You might have the best TV in the world, and you're posting it, you're getting thumbs up, you got all the specs, you're sitting there looking at, but if you don't plug it in, you don't know what it's about. And Gurudev said, that plug is service mood in surrender. Surrender to what the Lord is arranging for us. But the question is, we're going to be in different kinds of circumstances where our idea of what I'm supposed to be doing or what I have defined as service is now not available to me. Then what? And I think, Divyashakti was kind of mentioning, I can't do this now and I can't do it. So we are going more deeply into, yes, my service now is what you have given to me. It's to go more deeply into my surrendering mood, that this situation is your grace. And that will be my service. It can be that when we're dying even, 7 minutes. Even when we're dying, what are we going to do when you're dying? I got those pots and I'm not, oh no, I don't have any service. So we have to know deeply what is service. That this situation is perfect, my Lord. This is you coming. Let me now find some way to connect with you, to remember you, to think about you, to offer myself to you. This is the internal heartbeat of our existence. Shikaya Sharanagati Bakatera Prana. What did Mahaprabhu come to get? This rare, rare thing called prema. How? Bakatera Prana is surrender. The prana, the life, the beating of the heart of the Vaishnava is in his surrendering to the desire of the Lord. I can tell you a personal experience, which may not be very enlightening or anything, but it's what's been on my mind. That sometimes when you come in front of the deity, or when you go to a holy place of a divine manifested place, like the appearance of the great descending Vaishnavas, okay, deity. Dandavat. You get some feeling, like really feeling, and you don't know because you've never had such a thing before or known anything like it. And then the next time, that's withdrawn. Or you'll come in front of the deity and you just think, ugh. But that also has its purpose. Sometimes we feel enlivened, like excited, and sometimes we don't. But the Lord is not going to let us remain satisfied when we still have so far to go. He wants to keep moving us forward. So if you have a teacher, say, teaching Tai Chi or something like that, and that teacher usually has a stick. So sometimes he's giving praise and encouragement, but he doesn't want to keep you at that level. So sometimes he's going to withdraw his praise and encouragement and ostensibly his affection and being pleased with you so that you will move forward. So all these experiences are coming full of divinity. And when we have a quarrel with that, that quarrel is coming from the screen of the mental existence, which is all artificial, and quarreling with what I think is supposed to happen. But because the Lord is the Lord of everything, we can't actually go to one atom and say, I want it like this. Every atom is an expression of infinite will, of infinite sweetness and divinity. And we're not to make any demand like that. It doesn't mean now that I don't make some service attempt. I don't, I have a list, I'm managing a temple. I've got lists every day that are this long. And we're making some service attempt shyly as an offering. We're trying, we're working, we're doing things. But what's going to happen from that? We don't know. The Lord is actually, and Gurudev is the captain of that ship. So we will find that internal connection. At times of discouragement, at times when things aren't going what I think they're supposed to do, as your question is asking, in service. This is not what's supposed to happen. But Guru Maharaj says, when one door will not open, don't lose your time. Go and see what door is open. This is where he wants us to go. So this is a very fine thing, fine practices that we are to really understand and learn. I hope this is my attempt, based on what we're hearing from Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada. These are descending Vaishnavas. I'll tell you I'll tell you a story. It's not anecdotal, but we were sitting with Gurudev once in Govardhan, and there were a few devotees in the room, and this was taped, but Srila Gurudev said, in the morning, he said, this is my place. He said, in the morning I go with Guru Maharaj and pick flowers at Kusham Sarovara and take them to Radha Kund for service, and then we're coming back here. And none of us could move, because how did I just hear that? But somehow or other, he told us that. And it makes us remember what kind of Vaishnavas we are being guided by. They are descending Vaishnavas from the highest plane of divine service. So do we expect to become fully qualified so quickly? And at the same time, we completely understand that the Lord is our guardian and never abandons us, ever. So we will be guided under all circumstances. We are inconceivably fortunate. And we're just going to go on in a really happy mood, and any mood that comes to us, happy or not happy, we're looking up. Where did this come from? It's from you. It's perfect. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, because I was remembering so many verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam which he's given us. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki Jai. Shri Govinda Mela ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. Our exalted Shri Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda ki Jai. All the devotees ki Jai. Kol Kartal ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Srilekha didi ki jai, Bimala didi ki jai, Divyashakti didi ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Maharaj Govardhan.
Inauguration of the temple